My name is Melina Moro. I'm 28 years old, and the night before my wedding, my mother left me a voicemail at 11:43 p.m. 11:43 p.m. Melina, it's not too late to cancel. Don't embarrass us like this. My father had already written me a 4-page letter calling my choices intellectually incompatible with our family values. I played it 3 times before I understood she wasn't coming. 68 invitations from my side, 0 responses. My mother had sent a group email to everyone. We cannot in good conscience attend. Their reason? My fiancé worked nights as hospital security at Pennsylvania Hospital. To them, he was nobody. They didn't know that strangers stopped him on the street to thank him. They didn't know why his phone rang at 2 a.m. with urgent, desperate voices. They never asked. So I walked down the aisle alone, 90 feet, 34 empty chairs. 48 hours later, a 10-second clip from my reception went viral. The man my family called nobody became the only person everyone talked about. That's when they realized what they had done, but it was too late. If you're watching, subscribe and tell me where you're tuning in from. I read every single comment. Let me take you back 14 months earlier, to a hospital waiting room at 2:17 a.m., where I met a man in a security uniform who would change everything. February 19, 2024. Emergency room in Pennsylvania. My roommate had been in a bike accident. Nothing life-threatening, but enough to land us in the ER at 2 a.m. I had been sitting there for 3 hours, green plastic chairs, fluorescent lights that made everyone look half dead, a broken coffee machine with a sign taped on it. I was staring at my phone when someone stopped in front of me. "You've been here 3 hours. Have you eaten?" I looked up. A security guard, mid-30s maybe. Dark hair, worn boots, hospital badge clipped to his belt but turned backward. His face looked tired, but kind, the kind of tired that comes from working nights, not from lack of sleep. "No, I haven't," I said. "The vending machines are broken. I'll grab you something." He came back 6 minutes later with a wrapped turkey sandwich and coffee in a paper cup. "You didn't have to do that," I said. "You looked like you needed it." We talked for a few minutes. He didn't say much about himself, just that he worked nights and handled operations around the hospital. But the way he spoke was different. Calm, precise, intentional. "Do you like working nights?" I asked. "It's when the work matters most." I didn't understand what he meant. I didn't ask. When the nurse finally called me back, he was still there. "I'm Melina," I said. "Nathan." A nurse walked past and called him Doctor. He stopped her with a single look, and she corrected herself and walked away. I noticed it, but I didn't understand it. I thought he was just a kind stranger at 2 a.m. 3 days later, he found me on social media and asked me for coffee. Our first date was at Reading Terminal Market. He showed up on time, wearing jeans and a worn grey jacket. Still looked tired. We walked, ate, talked. His phone kept buzzing. He barely looked at it. "Just work," he said. He paid in cash, no phone. Then he smiled properly for the first time. "Can I see you again?" "Yes," I said. We fell into something slowly at first, then all at once. Nathan worked extreme hours. Sometimes he disappeared for more than a day. He called it emergencies. I assumed hospital operations, maybe management. He lived, simply. Small apartment in South Philly, almost no furniture, medical books everywhere. "Just interested in health stuff," he said once when I asked. You read trauma surgery journals for fun? I like understanding how things work. By late 2024, I was completely in love with him. I asked him to move in. He did, with one bag, medical journals, and a pager that went off at random hours. I never needed to know what exactly he did. I just knew he was good at it. My family would have cared. I didn't. When I finally told my mother about him, everything changed. Security at Pennsylvania Hospital, I said. Silence. Security operations? She repeated. Her tone told me everything. They insisted on meeting him. The dinner was a performance. My parents questioned him politely, carefully. He didn't try to impress them. Halfway through dinner, a guest mentioned a medical issue. Nathan diagnosed it immediately, calmly, accurately. The room went silent. How do you know that? My mother asked. I work in a hospital, he said. You pick things up. That night, I knew they would never accept him. Soon after, they sent the email. They would not attend the wedding. 68 people followed their lead. No one responded from my side. I called the caterer and cancelled 68 seats. And I left 34 chairs empty. I wanted them visible. The night before the wedding, my mother called. 11:43 p.m. It's not too late. Don't embarrass us. I played it 3 times. She wasn't coming. The next day, I walked down the aisle alone. 34 empty chairs facing me. I kept walking. Nathan was waiting. We said our vows. And then, at the reception, a man collapsed. Nathan moved instantly. Everything about him changed. Call 911, get the AED, start compressions. He took control completely. Calm, authoritative, precise. People obeyed him without question. I watched him save a man's life in front of me. And then, I understood. Nathan wasn't hospital security. He was a trauma surgeon. Chief of trauma surgery at Penn Medicine. And the world found out that night. Millions of views, headlines, comments, stories from patients he had saved. My phone exploded. My family started calling. Too late. Everything was already collapsing. Later, when my father had a heart attack, Nathan saved him too, on duty, in the same hospital where they had once dismissed him. My mother broke down. My father apologized. But apologies don't erase choices. I set boundaries. No control over my life, no interference, and full respect for Nathan. They agreed. At Christmas, I spent the day with Nathan's family, warm, loud, real. And I finally understood what being chosen feels like. People ask if I forgave my family. No. But I have peace. Because peace doesn't come from forgiveness. It comes from boundaries. My family chose status. I chose love. And Nathan is the man who saw me when I was just me. And that was enough.